Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Public opinion in discourse analysis. In discourse analysis, public opinion refers to the collective attitudes, beliefs, and sentiments expressed by people regarding social, political, and cultural issues. Discourse analysis provides a method to study how public opinion is shaped, constructed, and communicated through language, particularly in public texts such as news media, political speeches, social media, and everyday conversations. By analyzing how public opinion is discursively produced, researchers can explore how language reflects power dynamics, shapes identities, and reinforces or challenges societal ideologies. Discourse analysis of public opinion focuses not only on the language used to express viewpoints but also on the broader social and cultural context that influences how opinions are formed, debated, and disseminated. Public opinion is seen as both a product of discourse and a factor that shapes discourse itself. Key features of public opinion in discourse analysis. Point 1. Language as a constructive force. In discourse analysis, public opinion is not viewed as simply reflecting objective reality but as constructed through language. The way issues are framed, the metaphors and rhetorical strategies used, and the narratives that dominate public discourse all shape how people understand and form opinions about social and political matters. Example: in public discourse on immigration, the use of metaphors such as flood or invasion frames immigrants as a threat, which can influence public opinion toward more restrictive immigration policies. On the other hand, framing immigrants as contributors or victims of persecution can create a more positive or sympathetic public sentiment. Point 2. Framing and agenda setting. Public opinion is heavily influenced by how issues are framed and the way certain topics are given prominence in the media, political discourse, or social media platforms. Agenda setting theory suggests that the media and political actors play a key role in determining which issues are considered important by the public. Discourse analysis helps to uncover these framing strategies and how they influence collective attitudes. Example: in media coverage of climate change, some outlets might frame it as an economic challenge, requiring innovation and investment, while others frame it as a global crisis, demanding immediate action. These frames shape how the public perceives the urgency of the issue and the types of solutions they support. Point 3. Public opinion as a site of struggle. Public opinion is often a site of discursive struggle, where competing ideologies, values, and perspectives vie for dominance. Discourse analysis examines how different groups, such as political parties, activists, corporations, and media organizations, use language to promote their viewpoints and influence public attitudes. Example: during elections, political parties engage in discursive battles to shape public opinion on key issues like healthcare, taxes, or immigration. They use specific language to appeal to different segments of the population, such as emphasizing freedom of choice in healthcare reform or fairness in tax policies. Discourse analysis can reveal how language is strategically used to appeal to public sentiment and win voter support. Point 4. Influence of social media on public opinion. The rise of social media has significantly altered how public opinion is formed and disseminated. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram provide spaces for everyday users to express opinions, interact with public figures, and participate in debates. Discourse analysis of social media explores how language is used to build public opinion, how certain voices become amplified, and how discourse circulates within these digital spaces. Example: a discourse analysis of social media posts during the Black Lives Matter movement might focus on how hashtags like #BlackLivesMatter or #AllLivesMatter are used to construct differing perspectives on race relations and police violence. The analysis would explore how these phrases contribute to public debate and shape collective attitudes on racial justice. Point 5. Public opinion and power relations. Discourse analysis also examines how power relations influence the formation and expression of public opinion. Certain actors, such as political elites, media organizations, or corporations, have more resources to influence discourse and, by extension, public opinion. Analyzing how these actors use language to frame issues and push specific agendas helps reveal the ways in which power operates in the public sphere. Example: in public debates over environmental regulation, large corporations might use language that emphasizes job creation and economic growth to argue against stricter regulations. Environmental advocacy groups, on the other hand, may frame the issue in terms of sustainability and future generations. Discourse analysis can uncover how power differentials between these groups shape the broader public debate and the opinions that emerge from it. Methodologies for analyzing public opinion in discourse analysis. Point 1. Media discourse analysis. Media plays a central role in shaping public opinion by framing issues, selecting which stories to highlight, and using particular language to influence how events and issues are interpreted. Media discourse analysis examines how language, visuals, and narratives in news reports, editorials, and opinion pieces reflect and shape public attitudes. Example: a media discourse analysis of coverage of the refugee crisis might reveal how different newspapers frame refugees. One outlet might use sympathetic language, such as families fleeing violence, while another might frame refugees as illegal immigrants or burdens on social services. The analysis would explore how these framings influence public opinion about refugee policies. Point 2. Social media discourse analysis. Social media platforms offer a dynamic space for the formation and expression of public opinion. Social media discourse analysis focuses on how language, hashtags, memes, and digital interactions shape collective attitudes. It also examines how these online discourses spread and become part of larger societal conversations. Example: analyzing the use of the hashtag #MeToo on Twitter, researchers could explore how the movement's language contributed to changing public opinions on sexual harassment and gender dynamics. The analysis would look at how individuals used personal stories to challenge dominant narratives and create solidarity, while also examining the backlash and counter-discourse, e.g., #NotAllMen, that emerged. Point 3. Critical discourse analysis, CDA. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, is particularly useful for examining how public opinion is influenced by power relations and ideologies. CDA looks at how dominant discourses shape public attitudes and how language is used to maintain or challenge existing social structures. Example: a CDA of political speeches on welfare reform might examine how politicians use the language of personal responsibility to frame welfare recipients as lazy or undeserving. This framing, in turn, influences public opinion to support cuts to social programs, reinforcing neoliberal ideologies of self-reliance and reducing state intervention in welfare. Point 4. Framing analysis. Framing analysis focuses on how issues are presented and structured in discourse, particularly in media and political communication. It examines how different frames highlight certain aspects of an issue while downplaying or omitting others, thus shaping public opinion. Example: in an analysis of gun control debates, researchers might examine how political figures and media outlets frame the issue as either a matter of public safety or constitutional rights. These competing frames influence whether the public supports stricter gun laws or opposes them in favor of protecting Second Amendment rights. Examples of public opinion in discourse analysis. Example 1. Public opinion on climate change in media discourse. Discourse analysis of media coverage on climate change reveals how public opinion is shaped by the framing of environmental issues. In a study of media discourse, researchers might find that conservative outlets frame climate change as uncertain science, or emphasize the economic costs of environmental regulation, while progressive outlets frame it as an immediate crisis, requiring urgent action. This framing influences how the public perceives the reality of climate change and what solutions they are likely to support. Example 2. Social media and public opinion on Black Lives Matter. A discourse analysis of the #Black Lives Matter movement on social media might examine how hashtags, slogans, and user-generated content contributed to shifting public opinion on racial justice and police reform. By analyzing tweets, Instagram posts, and Facebook comments, researchers could explore how language was used to build solidarity, highlight systemic racism, and challenge dominant narratives about policing. The analysis might also reveal how counter-movements, such as #BlueLivesMatter, shaped public opinion by framing the debate in terms of law and order versus civil rights. Example 3. Political speeches and public opinion on immigration. A discourse analysis of political speeches on immigration might focus on how different parties frame immigrants and immigration policies. For instance, one party might emphasize economic benefits by describing immigrants as job creators or vital contributors, while another party might use language like border security and illegal invasion to promote a more restrictive stance. These discursive strategies shape public opinion by appealing to different values, such as security, fairness, or economic prosperity. Challenges in analyzing public opinion through discourse. Point 1. Diverse and fragmented audiences. Public opinion is not homogeneous, and different segments of the population may interpret the same discourse in varying ways based on their backgrounds, ideologies, or access to information. This makes it challenging for discourse analysts to draw definitive conclusions about how language shapes public opinion across different groups. Example: a discourse on healthcare reform might be interpreted differently by low-income individuals who rely on government assistance and by wealthy individuals who prioritize private healthcare options. Analyzing how public opinion forms across these diverse groups can be complex. Point 2. Rapidly changing discourse. With the rise of social media, public opinion can shift rapidly as new discourses emerge, go viral, and fade within short timeframes. Discourse analysis must be adaptive to these fast-changing dynamics, particularly when studying digital platforms. Example: public opinion on a political issue can change dramatically after a viral video, tweet, or news story. This makes it challenging to capture the full scope of discourse within a short period of time, as public sentiment can shift overnight. Point 3. Influence of power and media ownership. Public opinion is often shaped by powerful actors who control access to discourse, such as media corporations, political elites, and social media influencers. Analyzing how these power dynamics influence public opinion requires a critical approach that considers who controls discourse and whose voices are marginalized. Example: media conglomerates with specific political affiliations may promote certain narratives over others, shaping public opinion to align with their interests. Discourse analysis must account for these power imbalances when studying how public opinion is constructed. Conclusion: public opinion in discourse analysis provides valuable insights into how language shapes and is shaped by collective attitudes, beliefs, and sentiments on social, political, and cultural issues. By analyzing how issues are framed, how language reflects power relations, and how social media amplifies or challenges certain perspectives, discourse analysts can uncover the ways in which public opinion is discursively constructed. Whether through media, political speeches, or digital platforms, public opinion is a dynamic, contested space where language plays a crucial role in shaping societal beliefs and influencing policy decisions. Frequently asked questions. What is the role of public opinion in discourse analysis? Public opinion in discourse analysis refers to the collective attitudes and beliefs expressed by people on social, political, and cultural issues. Discourse analysis examines how public opinion is shaped and communicated through language in media, political speeches, social media, and other public texts. How is language seen as a constructive force in shaping public opinion? Language is viewed as a tool that constructs, rather than simply reflects, public opinion. The way issues are framed, metaphors used, and narratives developed in public discourse influence how people form opinions about social and political matters. What is the significance of framing and agenda setting in public opinion? Framing refers to how issues are presented in discourse, which significantly impacts how the public interprets and prioritizes them. Agenda setting involves how media and political actors highlight certain topics, shaping what the public perceives as important. How does discourse analysis view public opinion as a site of struggle? Public opinion is a contested space where different ideologies and groups use language to promote their viewpoints. Discourse analysis examines how political parties, activists, and media outlets engage in discursive battles to influence public attitudes. What is the impact of social media on public opinion in discourse analysis? Social media has transformed public opinion formation by allowing everyday users to participate in discourse. Platforms like Twitter and Facebook provide spaces for debate, with discourse analysis examining how language, hashtags, and digital interactions shape collective attitudes. How does power influence public opinion in discourse analysis? Powerful actors, such as media organizations, political elites, and corporations, often control discourse and influence public opinion. Discourse analysis uncovers how these groups use language to frame issues and push specific agendas that shape collective beliefs. What methodologies are used to analyze public opinion in discourse? Several methodologies include media discourse analysis, examines how media frames issues and uses language to shape public attitudes. Social media discourse analysis focuses on user-generated content, hashtags, and memes on platforms like Twitter. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, explores how power relations influence public opinion through discourse. Framing analysis investigates how issues are presented to highlight certain aspects and influence public perception. Can you provide an example of how media discourse analysis examines public opinion? A media discourse analysis on climate change might reveal how different outlets frame the issue, conservative outlets emphasizing economic consequences and progressive ones focusing on the urgency of environmental action. These framings influence public perception and the solutions they support. How does social media discourse analysis contribute to understanding public opinion? Social media discourse analysis looks at how hashtags, user interactions, and viral content shape public debates. For example, analyzing the hashtag #MeToo movement can reveal how collective attitudes on sexual harassment evolved through personal storytelling and solidarity online. What challenges are involved in analyzing public opinion through discourse? Challenges include diverse and fragmented audiences. Public opinion is not homogeneous, and different groups may interpret discourse differently. Rapidly changing discourse. Public opinion can shift quickly, especially on social media, making it hard to capture discourse dynamics. Power and media ownership. Powerful actors controlling discourse can skew public opinion, requiring critical analysis of whose voices dominate and whose are marginalized.